Hello, thank you for joining me, friends, for the Gemini lunar eclipse that we have on November 30th. It is on some level, it wants us to open up, be happy, don't worry, be happy. Since the sun is in Sagittarius, the moon is in Gemini, that is a lot about opening up to laughter, opening up to the lighter side of life. However, we still have Venus in Scorpio. She's very intense there. Mercury in Scorpio, our thinking can be quite deep. Yet still this lunar eclipse, and remember, eclipses are powerful, full moons or new moons. And so now we are in the eclipse season. The next eclipse will be the solar eclipse on December 14th. So what does this all mean? In every year when we have the full moon, eclipse or not, in Gemini, we are looking at the balance between the Sagittarius desire to know and the desire to know it all, the desire to be able to find the truth, and the Gemini, what about this? Here's the option. Did you think about this side of life? So the moon in Gemini eclipse is very strong about being able to see the duality of life. Now, if you look at this from a metaphysical perspective, it can be very important. It can be very significant in being able to see the dual nature of our being, the human being that we use, our body, our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, versus our higher self, cosmic consciousness. Yet on a probably more mundane level, when we go into this, it will be a time, it's like, okay, let's just tell me something. Have you heard about this? What about this? And it's also the learning energy, the desire to have information. Now with the moon in Gemini, it's information, it's knowledge that can be useful in day to day. What can you use? Hey, do you know how to use this program? Or I'm stuck over here. What button do I push? That type of thing. And it's also about thoughts of traveling. Gemini is travel that is more short trips, and to connect with people that are, even that's familiar. So what does that mean? Even if it's long distance, is a place that you already know. It's a place that you've already been to. So this particular, some of you know that I work with midpoints. Midpoints are the structure between two planets that vibrate. And sometimes they're very easy to see. And it's an equal distance, when they're easy to see, it's an equal distance. This isn't exact equal distance, but as an idea right now, you may remember that Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn are all traveling together in Capricorn. And Jupiter is in the middle. So Jupiter, which by the way is the ruler of Sagittarius where the sun is, Jupiter is negotiating. Think of Jupiter, think of Pluto over here, this intensity, death and rebirth and regeneration. And Saturn over here ruling the mundane world, the material world, what you need to do. How do you maneuver in this material world, in this physical world? And Jupiter, always wanting to expand, always wanting to say, hey, there's possibilities in the middle of these two energies, kind of like the bridge, the negotiator. So being able to negotiate this transformational energy with possibilities, Jupiter, that we can bring into our physical world, the life that we live. Now, there are other midpoints that are going on that are not as easy to see. This is the beauty of the computer program. You can do it by hand pretty easily, but hey, if you have a computer program. And the closest midpoints we have is Saturn that authority, that where do you need to be serious? What's the long-term plan? What decisions can you make that in the long run you will not regret? So Saturn is at the midpoint between the Sun and Neptune, the Moon and Neptune. Now, Neptune-Saturn is indicative of this whole virus problem. I know a lot of people, astrologers, are saying it's Saturn-Pluto. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction is the result, in ways, it's the result of the restructuring of our government, of our how we work, of our work world, of our corporations. Neptune rules that which we cannot see. Neptune is one of the rulers of many things, but it includes viruses. So what does this mean when you have in this full moon eclipse in Gemini? Think about, which on the surface is about thinking about the duality of nature and what else can you do and what are your options. But on the undercurrent, we have Saturn, this planet of seriousness, connected to Sun Neptune, Moon Neptune. The Sun Neptune wants the vision, wants the fantasy, what's the ideal. And the Sun is the essence of who we are and what we're doing. Moon wants contentment, emotional fulfillment, that sense of safety. It represents our memories, that core place, home, family. Neptune wants the ideal. But the problematic side of Neptune is feeling confused, feeling lost, or feeling unsure. It can be called the uncertainty principle. And Saturn brings it to the surface. And it's very important to stay focused. If you know people that are not happy or depressed, they can be feeling this stronger. And since there's so many heartaches for so many reasons, for some people, not all, right? Illness and people dying and jobs lost, and in addition to just regular life happening, it's good to reach out. And to the Gemini full moon eclipse, that sense of duality, the sense of what is the next option, what are more options, actually can lift up and rise to the occasion instead of pulling down into confusion or uncertainty or depression, which is one manifestation of Saturn, Sun, Neptune, Saturn, Moon, Neptune. It can rise it to, well, I may not be able to see the possibilities of what the future will bring, but I can imagine them. I can come up with alternatives. Now, in the chart itself, we also have, like I mentioned, Venus in sexy, intuitive, passionate Scorpio. And she has just come off of the opposition of Uranus. So there is an element of breaking free from, and she's moved past it. So there's an element of breaking free of anything where you felt that you have been stuck and things opening up, because Uranus is called the Great Awakener. And Uranus is in a aspect, it's called quincunx. It's 150 degrees away from the sun, 30 degrees away from the moon. And that's that traditionally that's called an adjustment energy, but it's also a growth energy. So where do we grow? We grow through taking a philosophical view, the sun, of life, and also with the moon, to be able to see Gemini is known for the Joker, different ideas. And in some way to be able to see the cosmic, some people call it the cosmic joke, the duality of nature of life. And of course, to be able to, in some way, find an element of this is the time to lighten up. Yes, there are situations, one can overcome them, but a sense of finding more lightness in the world. And there's also the sense of being able to think deeply, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury's in Scorpio, and Scorpio wants us to go deep and think deep. Can be there is a push-pull against when you're trying to meditate, that Gemini can really be able to feel and hear and witness the mind chatter. But the moon, or with the moon in Gemini ruled by Mercury and Scorpio, the thinking being able to go deep. But Scorpio's ruled, traditional ruler, by Mars, and Mars is in its rulership in Aries. And so what that means is that after all of this, a short meditation, going deep, seeing things from a different perspective, Mars in Aries says, okay, we're ready to take some action. So now I will give a short, very brief description of what it means for all of the signs. So for Aries, where is this eclipse happening? Aries, traditional, if you put this Aries on the ascendant, and then you look in the house, which solar house is the eclipse happening, the lunar eclipse, your third house. So it's very, you're the leader. And one of the reasons why you're a leader is because when you put Aries on the ascendant, there's that natural flow that goes around the zodiac, around the wheel. The moon lunar eclipse in the third house is very much about, is there anything that you can learn that's going to help your daily life? And what type of communication do you want to give to other people? It's just a very good time for you to reach out, communicate, send text, send emails, send even snail mail. There's something about reaching out and communicating with others and having this illumination, because remember, an eclipse is like, oh, here's the light goes out, comes back on. So we're more illuminated in that area. And it also can represent that there may be something to do with transportation that comes up for you, that how do I want to get around, metaphorically speaking, and actually it also can be, in reality, how am I getting around? Okay, so let's jump over to, I'm going to rotate. So Taurus, the upcoming solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse right now, the lunar eclipse is in your solar second house of finances. So all it's saying is just pay attention to your money. Pay attention to in and out. And in Gemini, it can be that there is new thoughts, new ideas. On the one hand, I can spend money here. On the other hand, I can spend money here. On the one hand, I can save money here. So it's really pretty straightforward for you about looking at your finances, and also realizing that you have more resources within you, more talents within you to create. There may be something else coming up where you're creating more abundance in your life. Gemini, this is your full moon. Not only is it a full moon, it's your lunar eclipse full moon in your sign. So what can I say? It's all about you. It's meant to be all about you, okay? And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I'm just meaning the sense of when we have the month that we have, the full moon, eclipse or not, in our own sign, it is a time to enjoy things a little bit more. So it does shine something. It does open up something about what is important for you. It's in what's called your solar first house, so which is your physical appearance. So there could be something that you get a new outfit, new hairstyle, get your hair cut or something. But it also represents taking care of your body. And because you're a Gemini, the moon's in Gemini, that whole thing about the mind chatter and finding a way to calm the mind and get to a place of knowing that deep sense of, okay, this is a decision, and therefore this is the action that it will be important for you to take. So, and ultimately some of it, the action can be is like, okay, here's the people I want in my life or that are available to connect with, to make plans with, and go communicating that and going for that. Cancer, the lunar eclipse in Gemini is in your solar 12th house of retreat. So here we are, November 30th, we're coming into a holiday month, and the full moon is saying, hey, the eclipse is saying, hey, do you have some time for yourself here? Do you have some time to move away from the busyness and the chatter and rejuvenate and meditate and maybe do some type of moving meditation that can calm the mind and calm, if you're worried about anything, calm any of the worries that can be chattering around in your life for whatever reason. And the path of the lunar eclipse in Gemini, we go to Mercury in Scorpio, this deep thinking. Where's the deep thinking Mercury in your chart? Well, what do I enjoy doing? It's in the house of children. It's in the house of your hobbies, to think deeply, and there could be some transformation around that. And then it transfers over by rulership. It goes over to the planet of action, Mars, in your 10th house. Well, this is how I want to be known. So there's this sense of balance between what you have to do to keep life moving forward, all the stuff, the work, the cooking, the laundry, the stuff of life that has to get done, and balancing being able to take some time for yourself and nurture yourself, even if it's eclipse, the full moon eclipse in Gemini, even if it's just going in the bathtub and reading a magazine, if you like that, or curling up in bed and reading a novel that just takes your mind to whatever it is, to be able to have balance between the outside world and the inner world. So wishing you a great full moon lunar eclipse. Leo, this lunar eclipse for you is in your solar 11th house of friendships. So what does this mean? Connect with your friends, talk to your friends, get in contact with people you haven't heard from a while, and enjoy it. Have fun with it. It's a nice placement. It really is. And of course, the full moon, it's exact at a particular time, it's actually 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. So do that. But it doesn't mean it's only at that moment, right? The energy is around. And think of it as this fullness until the next solar eclipse, new moon, which is on the 14th. So contacting people, making plans, who do I want to, and also because the sun's over there in the house of children and hobbies, being able to have, and romance, dating, having some nice balance between, do my friends enjoy the things that I enjoy? How do we connect with them? Which ones are they? So a lot of this is just about having fun with it. And when you follow the path of the rulerships, it goes to the Mercury. Remember, it goes to the Mercury in Scorpio, which is in your 4th house of early memories. And so there's these deep memories that can bubble up from dreams or from odd times. And then by rulership, that It goes over to Mars. And Mars is traditional ruler of Scorpio, over in a place of your chart that represents knowledge and wisdom. So taking some action. And what it's saying, Leo, is that you have all the tools that you need. You have all the tools that you need to create the life that you want. Yeah, there's all this other stuff going on with the sun and moon connected to Neptune and Saturn. And, oh, how am I going to make it happen? And do I get all confused about it? Yes, there's that. But there's this message that's saying you have all the tools that you need. The creative visualization you've read about, all the courses, all the stuff that you've taken over the years, to take some action to create the life that you want. So enjoy this lunar eclipse. Virgo, the lunar eclipse for you is in your solar 10th house of how you want to be known in the world. A lot of people call it the house of your work, but it's more than that. It's how do you want to be known? How do you want to be seen? What is your reputation? You know, what is reputation anyways? So how do you want to be known? And the moon in Gemini lunar eclipse, that strong full moon, is saying that there may be two things that you want. You may have the work that you have, and there may be something else that's important for you. New idea, new learning, new path, new hobby. Now, that lunar eclipse, the sun, is over in a part of the chart that represents home, family, early memories. And is your traditional, how do I balance between my personal life and my professional life? So finding a way to have balance between that. And being able to, also the lunar eclipse up there at the top of the chart can be that you are like a beacon for all this noise that's out there. All the news, all the noise. And that balance between personal life and professional life, then knowing that sometimes you just need to go home and chill. So the Mercury, because Mercury rules Gemini, Mercury's over in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, Mercury is thinking in Scorpio, so deep thinking, right? So you can have some deep thoughts that come up for you. It also can be that there could be some communication that you have with siblings, because it's in the house of siblings. And yet the traditional ruler of Scorpio, because we follow the rulers, and we go over to Mars in its rulership in Aries. And Mars always wants to take action. And it's in a part of the chart that represents intuition and this depth of understanding. Is a psychological part of the chart. So there's something about this lunar eclipse for you that's very personal, that opens up a deeper psychological understanding of yourself and how the steps to take, the steps you want, the unfolding of that balance between your personal life and your professional life, and how you want to be known and how you want to be seen in the world, whether it's career-based or otherwise based. Have a great lunar eclipse. Libra. Okay, Libra. We have the lunar eclipse in an air sign. You're an air sign. So that in itself just says, hey, not so bad. And it's in the ninth house encompasses a lot. All of the houses encompasses a lot. Ninth house wants to travel. It wants to learn. It wants to explore. It wants us to be, think of the positive. What else can we do? Doesn't want limits. It is traditionally called the house of education, of travel, and knowledge in our beliefs. Old time, it was religion, but now it's our house of beliefs. What do you believe in? And with Gemini there, it's like, oh, let me think about what I believe in. Do I really believe this? Do I believe that? On one hand, they're saying this. On the other hand, they're saying that. So there can be all kinds of information that's coming your way. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Now, the sun's over there in the house of everyday learning, everyday learning that's good for, fundamental, how do you use this gadget type of deal. But it is another learning house. And so when we have this eclipse, this lunar eclipse, a full moon in the houses of learning, it can be, hey, there might be something else I'm interested in learning. Now, the moon in Gemini, Gemini's ruled by Mercury. Mercury's in Scorpio in your second house. So there can be, and Scorpio's this, let me get underneath things, let me dig deep. And your second house is house of money. So it's just learning about, thinking about, discovering, and Scorpio is the detective, discovering where's the money for me to learn something new or to go someplace new. And then because Scorpio is ruled traditionally by Mars and the strong placement of Aries, it's like taking some action, but it has to do with other people too. So it's not only action for yourself. It can be, okay, I want to learn this, but is somebody else or go here? Do I go here to visit somebody else? Do I learn something and somebody else has talked about this type of program or course or workshop? So somehow it's connected with other people. So enjoy the lunar eclipse full moon. Scorpio, the lunar eclipse is in your 8th house now. Many schools of astrology, thoughts of astrology, they consider the 8th house the traditional house of Scorpio. So there's something about that that's fundamentally will feel at home for you. Moon, lunar eclipse in Gemini, lots of thoughts, lots of ideas. On one hand this, one hand this. It also is a very psychic, intuitive house, so you can receive a lot of insightful, I just need to talk to this person, or getting messages from the other realm. It can be very intuitive. Also, traditionally, it is one of the money houses. The 2nd house and the 8th house are considered money houses. And that is where the sun is, because of course the sun is opposite the moon on a full moon and the eclipse. So balance, full moon, sun's here, moon's there. How do I balance my finances? And you can have, since it's in Gemini, intellect, ideas, you can have new ideas about balancing that whole financial part of life. And it does mean agreements too. Do you have a conversation with somebody about a different agreement about, hey, even if it's with your boss, I've been agreeing to do this. Where's my raise? Where's my bonus? So it could be a little bit of that too. Now, the Gemini moon Gemini's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in your sign, as is Venus, still there, sweet. So Mercury in Scorpio is about deep thinking. So there's this depth of thinking. But it goes over by rulership over to Mars and Aries, the other place that Mars rules. And Mars in Aries is in your solar 6th house of work and actions. So somehow this all ties into your work and taking action. Enjoy this lunar eclipse. Sagittarius lunar eclipse is your birthday season, right? So, and hey, if this is your birthday and you have the lunar eclipse on the birthday, it's even, or close to it, it's even more significant. Why? Well, it would be about finding a good balance because the lunar eclipse, the full moon eclipse, is always about balance, right? Because the moon's over here. Moon represents our emotional well-being, what we want emotionally, our feelings, our home, our family. Sun is what we do in the world. So the eclipse is over in the solar seventh house of partnerships. So it's about having the right balance between doing what you want to do and having balance in your relationships with other people. And it does go to Mercury in Scorpio, because Mercury rules Gemini. And that is in a deep sign of being able to get knowledge from meditation, knowledge from sleeping, knowledge from the collective unconscious, just really getting knowledge from places that I don't know why I know this, I just know this. Here's an insight. And then you use your own wisdom skills to decipher, well, is this in balance? Is my relationships, not just romantic, but relationships in general in life, in balance? And then it goes to, by rulership, it goes over to Mars and Aries, another fire sign, and a part of your chart that says, enjoy life. It's a house of children, hobbies, romance, having fun. So it goes back to balancing between what you need to do for yourself, you want to do for yourself, with other people, insight, and then action. So enjoy, and also happy birthday time. Capricorn, lunar eclipse in Gemini is in a part of your chart that represents everyday work that needs to get done. Now the sun's on the opposite side and a part of the chart that says, give me a break, I need to rest. So this is about balancing between having time just to chill and time to get things done. Now the solar sixth house is the mundane work, just get up and go to work, and here's what needs to get done, the routines of life, including all the things that in a perfect world, somebody else might do some of the things for you. But in Gemini, there's new ideas about it. So there could be new ideas about your work, new ideas about your routine, new ideas about taking care of your health. And since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's in Scorpio right now, in a deep sign, but it's in your solar house of friendships. So it can mean that you might have a conversation with a friend or a colleague that, says, I did you check out this? I've discovered something, because part of what Scorpio is a detective that can discover things. I discovered something. Here, have you looked at LinkedIn lately? Some job was posted for this, or something about just how to make life easier in terms of scheduling things so you have more time for yourself. And then the action energy comes in taking some action at home, just in your home environment. Okay, just need to clear that out, because ultimately it is like there could be so much, I got this going on and this going on. Gemini, right? Multitude is multiplicity, all these different things in daily life, that finding a way to reduce some of the redundancy and make it more systematic in some way shows up as it will free some time up for you, so you can have this balance between being busy, always having something on the to-do list, and having time just to chill and rejuvenate, meditate, whatever it is that you love to do. Aquarius, the Gemini lunar eclipse. Gemini is an air sign, you're an air sign. It is in your solar fifth house of hobbies, dating, romance, fun. It's fun. So, of course, the eclipse, the sun's over on the other side in the house of friendships. This beautiful time. And so it's connecting with friends. It's connecting with things that you love to do. It's in Gemini, so that says that there's more than one thing. There could be two distinct groups of people that are very different, but you love them both. You love them all. just finding a way to find time to be able to share time with them, share knowledge, share information, share just chatter with them, lighten up. And it also represents that your friends can come along, and there's a sense of being able to lighten up with communicating with them. Now, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury is in Scorpio, the detective sign, the intuition sign, the sign Mercury thinking, go deep thinking and discover something. And it's in your, what's called your solar 10th house of work, or just how you want to be and how you want to be known in the world. And so there could be something about just thinking deeply. It's like, oh, really is what I'm doing? Do I want to be known for this? And if not, is there any change I want to be making? And then it goes into a planet of action, taking action. And the action shows up as in communicating. Well, if somebody thinks this, it's like, no, I'm going to communicate. That's not really what I think. That's not really what I want to be known for. Then it goes to the planet of just communicating your truth, your authentic self. And it's not like an argument type of a communicating. It's just being very authentic. It's like, hey, and being able to be, it's light. It's, Gemini, it's lighthearted. It's like, no, there's always more than one side. Sometimes we can agree to disagree about things, but I'm going to investigate. There's a bit of investigation energy that's going on, but some of the investigation energy is going on through just being with people, whether it's at a party or friendships or Zoom meetings, whatever, where you're just sharing ideas and gathering in information. So have a fun. This is the fun energy. The lunar eclipse in the house of hobbies, romance, and laughter is kind of brings it up. It's great. Enjoy. Pisces, the lunar eclipse is in what's called your solar 4th house of home and family. It's Gemini. So there can be on the one hand this, on the other hand this. Do I want to spend some holidays over here? Do I want to spend some holidays over here? Who comes over here? There just could be a multitude of thoughts that come up. Now that solar 4th house also represents early memories. So there can be all these early memories that bubble up. I got this early memory about this, and communication from people that you've known from, way back, whether it's college or high school or whatever, that you can get people contacting you again from way back when. And it also means that these thoughts just bubble up. These memories do bubble up. Like, where did that come from? Oh, I don't know. It just came up. Now, the sun because it's a full moon, of course, the sun's on the other side, is in the sector of the chart. Many times it's called the work sector, the career sector, but it's the sector of what you want to be known for. And this is the traditional, when the sun's over in the 10th house, and the moon's in the 4th house, it's a traditional time where the universe is asking you, do you have a balance between your home life, your personal life, the 4th house personal home life, and your professional life, what you're doing out in the world? So finding that balance is essential at for this particular lunar eclipse full moon. Every full moon in Gemini is essential, but because it's a lunar eclipse, it's like as it gets a little double whammy or an extra push, where the universe is saying, hey, is it in balance? Now, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's in Scorpio, and a part of the chart of beliefs, and Scorpio's so deep. Mercury's thinking. Think deep about what you believe and whether or not you're holding any beliefs that are holding you back or freeing you up. And then the action planet comes into being. And the action planet, Mars in Aries, is something about taking action, about knowing and asserting even your what's called your self-worth. It's the house of money. So it could be taking some action, to buy something for your home. That's one thing. But on a deeper level, it can be taking action where you really sense deep within yourself of your own ability, your own talents. So have a beautiful, wonderful lunar eclipse.